Hello, hello and welcome. Welcome to week three of the Organize Along. If you haven't already signed up, it's not too late to join. It's actually never too late to join. You can go to the Be So Inspired website, and on the homepage, there's a sign up for the free Organize Along, and it just tells you every week what we are doing. This is week 3, and it is in What's in Between is the name. So what's in between, everything that goes in between your projects. So if you're making dolls, it's all the stuffing. If you're making quilts, it's all the quilt batting. If you're making clothes, it's all the interfacing. If you're embroidering, it's all of the stabilizer. So it's everything in between. Where do we put it and how do we organize it? So this is a tricky one because depending if you have little bits amounts or lots amounts, I'll give you some of my suggestions, but make sure you're joining one of the Facebook groups, either Inspired Quilting or Inspired Doll Making, and we'll discuss in there, share ideas. And if you're on social media, make sure you tag at Organize Along, and then we'll make sure we reshare your posts as well as in the weekly newsletters. So thank you so very much for joining us, week 3. If you're just joining us, welcome here. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you have been with us for a little while already, welcome back. Week 3, what's in between? So let's start with quilt batting. Do you have a great big roll of quilt batting? So that is a difficult thing to sort of hide and store. If you have a machine, a long arm machine, usually on the machine there's a roll that you could put on, which is where I usually put this big roll, but sometimes you need more. So really the best way to do it is in a closet if you have. If you don't have a closet, do put it maybe in either plastic, or you can even sew cover over it so it doesn't get covered in dust if you don't use it very often. But quilt batting, yeah, how do you store your quilt batting? If you are a doll maker, this is a bag of stuff. Oh, it's already opened it. This is a great big bag of stuffing, and I have a number of bags like this, and then they expand when you open them. And what happens? So where do you store that? So same thing, if you have under a table is really great. Because I buy them in such huge bulk like this, what I end up usually doing with a bag like this would be putting it in a much smaller airtight container, and then putting that back in a basement closet and keeping just, a decent amount up on hand in my studio so I can have that. So stuffing and batting, those are really big ones. So starting big and going smaller, I do use lots of stabilizers. So I do have like bolts that I buy, and like this is the Heat and Bond light. I use so much of this, so I do have a great big bolt of that one, as well as these. So we talked a little bit about visible fabric storage. I don't know if you want these visible always all the time or not. If you have a space that you can put them in a cupboard, then that's great. And if you don't, cutting off a little bit and having it by your sewing machine and putting the rest in a closet, maybe in the basement somewhere, is one way to do it. I love drawers, and in the first week I showed you how I stored my threads in drawers, because drawers hide things. And so I actually brought the drawer here that I use for a lot of my other stabilizers. So I have one drawer. I'm going to actually lower you down so you can see it here. And you can just see some of my products in there and how I store them. So there's really not a lot of organization in this drawer, but it is in a drawer. So in essence, it is organized. So let's talk about that, and I'll show you what I've got here. So here's a drawer, and I just have, if I have some of these products in here, then I just have what I need on hand. I try to label the pieces that don't have in there, or we have a label that we put on them there in a little bag so that they are there. I just have all of my sort of stabilizers or anything. I even have parchment paper in here that I use, and this is stabilizer for my embroidery machine. So I do use this actually in a separate drawer myself, but you could definitely go inside this drawer. So, so there are also some wonderful tools on the market out there. I think Kimberbell has a wonderful snap around for all the stabilizers, and it has different color codes and labels. You can use that with a ribbon if you want, and just make a little label and tie the label in it. or a piece of Velcro that you just put around, and it has a little label. Some people use sticky notes and pin them so that once you take it out of the package, you know what it is. So stabilizers are a little bit trickier because there's so many of them, but just being a little organized and labeling them is great. So another way to do it is just to put them in a vertical storage. So if you do have lots of squares like this, that you could put them in a box or in a clear bin. Always clear bins are great, and stand them up like this, and then you could easily just sort of see and go through them more like a book. So if they are in packages like this, or just being able to fold them like this, not in rolls. So this is week 3 of what's in between. And I'd just love to hear how you store all of your what's in between. So I'll get in between all of this. I know we have to have fun, don't we? Let's get in between and see how we can organize our what's in between this week. Please share with us and use the hashtag and tag organize along or at Be So Inspired, and I'll make sure I share it with you. So have a wonderful week. Keep organizing, keep smiling. We can do this, and have a great week. See you soon. Thanks. Bye.